Well. I guess we gotta start taking Jeff Grubb a little bit more serious. So, yes, it's officially been revealed. The PlayStation Showcase will be happening next week, 1 p.m. specific time. Yes, I know, if you don't live on the West Coast, do the math where you live. So, I'm very excited for this. And they did go into a little bit of detail. I mean a little bit of detail. I mean, like, the most bare minimum they could go into. It'll be roughly around an hour, maybe a little bit more, depending on trailers. If they go over technical time, but they never have actually gone over an hour or something because most of the time they're just like, oh, it's just quick trailer, quick trailer, quick trailer. They said this would showcase, PS5, PlayStation VR 2 games, indies, and third-party companies. So I figured, hey, this is a big PlayStation thing, and I want to go out of my way and kind of, talk about what I'm personally thinking it's going to be there, and just let me see if if you guys think the same games might show up here. So, first one we got to talk about is Factions 2. Now, it's so funny, we keep calling it Factions 2 when technically we don't even have a name for this game. It's the Last of Us multiplayer project they've been working on since The Last of Us Part 2. Now, we do know we're supposed to get some kind of information about this project in the near future. Because, like Neil Druckmann said, we're supposed to get information. So it's like, logically, it's like, okay, this is a chance for them to show Factions 2. We might see Factions 2. I'm very, that's the one of the very few multiplayer things they are potentially have in the works that I am excited to see. Just because, I'm a big Last of Us shill. And if you try to play a factions, match these days, you get dominated. Like, just stone cold dominated. Like, you're just stone cold stunner to the face kind of domination. So, I think that's something we're going to see here. Next thing, it's the most obvious one, Spider-Man 2. I would be shocked if they did not show Spider-Man 2 at all. Just because it's the game they've said that's coming out this year. It's the game we keep hearing is coming out this year. You can only hear so many times and still be in doubt. And I'm excited to see more of this game because I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. Like, easily number one superhero franchise I love the most. I love it so much I even went to see the Venom movies, which were Except the second one, I'll actually say it was good in that kind of B-list, kind of. I guess you would say it's so good, it's so bad, it's kind of good in a way. But yeah, Spider-Man 2, I'm excited to see just because it's Spider-Man and Venom is in it, and I can't wait. And also, Craven the Hunter is going to be in it, so yeah. So the next thing I think is a given we will potentially see. Uh, you know what? See, this is where I think things get a little dicey, cause Wolverine. Now, Wolverine is supposedly coming out the year after Spider-Man comes out. That's what at least some people are assuming out there. Naughty Dog. Insomniac is a big enough studio. They have a lot of employees. They have a lot of people working on it. Obviously, Spider-Man is the priority, but also people are working on Wolverine. And I would like to see the Wolverine game, just because it's Wolverine. It's his first solo game. It's the first big AAA Wolverine game we've ever gotten. So I want to see it, but I kind of have doubts if that'll be here, just because I feel like at this point, if they were to show it now, it'd be a little too early. It's kind of like if they would deflate the fame or the hype for Spider-Man 2. I mean, there is some logic to that. It's like, hey, get excited for Spider-Man 2, but also get excited for Wolverine at the same time. It's like, I think these showcase events should always kind of be like a, unless you're announcing something or putting an announcement teaser trailer, I don't think you should have studios have more than one game at these kind of showcase events because you don't want them to get overshadowed. So, yeah. Next thing I think we could see is the Horizon multiplayer project. Now, this got leaked out and we know now it's a thing. And I'm going to be honest here. While I'm not the biggest fan of the Horizon series, I admit this any time of the day. I am not the biggest fan of the Horizon, story. The world of Horizon is something I've always been interested in, just because I love seeing how these people have adapted with like there's like zero human interference, and it's kind of cool. And this idea that it's supposed to be a Monster Hunter type game, where Horizon already kind of had those Monster Hunter, I guess you would say DNA in there a bit. It's pretty cool. I want to see this just because I want to see it as the concept and like how it works. Because if I'm being honest, this is something that's got legs, and this could be a live service game where they could do more of it. Speaking of live service games, the next thing I want to see is Twisted Metal. The Twisted Metal TV show is coming out. We know that's supposed to be, I think it's supposed to be on Peacock, isn't it? And we know it's supposed to come out this year. Now, why would I think Twisted Metal games in development just because there's a TV show? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. It's logic. It's logic and hoping. I am hoping we hear about this see this Twisted Metal game, because I've also been hearing about it for a while. It's just like, it's one of those things you keep hearing about, and you're like, okay, what are you up to? Come on, tell me. And I'm gonna be honest, it'd be pretty freaking cool. There's stuff like, Blue Point Project and all that stuff. See, that's the thing. I don't think you can properly predict what's gonna happen. Like, I know some people out there saying like Ghost of Tsushima 2 is gonna be there. I doubt that. And here's why I say Ghost of Tsushima 2 is a big doubt. First off, we know that Sucker Punch is busy helping with the production of the Ghost of Tsushima movie, which has apparently, all those projects have been put on hold because of the writer's strike, so that sucks. But also just, I feel like Ghost of Tsushima is not a game that needs a sequel right now. I think the DLC sufficed enough. And I do think if Sucker Punch wants to do something else, they should be allowed to do it. I think they gained a lot of fame, a lot of recognition, through, Ghost of Tsushima, that people were like, okay, well, we're excited for Ghost 2. It's like, well, maybe that's not the first thing we're going to do after Ghost of Tsushima. And I kind of would like them to go back to Infamous or Sly Cooper, or, I don't know, make it, well, if they made a new IP, then I don't think we're getting Ghost 2 anytime soon. Probably not until the end of this generation. Like, I'm talking like the last 5 years of this generation. So, yeah. As far as third-party stuff goes, oh god, I'm going to have to say it. Third-party stuff. Also, I want to, actually, now I think about this real quick. I want to bring up that I don't think we're going to see Death Stranding 2 at this showcase. And the reason for that is because Summer Game Show. Sony's a partner, and, Jeff Keighley and Kojima being friends, I do think that's something that might get prioritized for Summer Showcase instead of doing a, like putting it part of the PlayStation Showcase. So, I just don't think we're seeing Death Stranding 2. Then, of course, the one we keep hearing about. The one we keep hearing, rumblings about, and that is the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake. This is something that we keep hearing about. It feels like every year we're talking about it. And while I'm not the biggest MGS fan, I'm going to be honest, I never got through a Phantom Pain, but what Phantom Pain did real well, I was like, man, that stuff's good. The story is complex as hell. Like, oh god. Anime levels of complexity. But I love the gameplay. So, if Metal Gear Solid 3 remake gets announced here, I think that will be the big nut moment. That's the moment where all the freaking, MGS fans just, put their hands up there and say, thank you, God! I also think we're going to see Silent Hills 2 here, just because that is one of the things they've already talked about in the past. And I can't imagine Sony's not going to be like, oh yeah, by the way, did you forget about Silent Hills 2? So yeah, I think we're going to see MGS 3 Snake Eater, and Silent Hills 2. As far as other smaller, well, I guess you would say other third-party stuff, I imagine Final Fantasy 16 is going to get like one last trailer before the game launches. I think it's supposed to be next month. So I think that's something we're going to see there. I also think, and this is kind of my big hope, the biggest hope I have of all these announcements outside of Factions 2. finally get to see a little bit more of Little Devil Inside. I don't know why. Just every time they do these showcase kind of events, I want to see that game because it's one of those games that's art style. It's so different from what I'm used to. You know, like when you think PlayStation games and stuff like, you know, big AAA games, you expect like these high quality graphics. These look like how do you describe it? They kind of look like those Russian dolls. You know, you take one out and there's the other one. I think that art style really fits here. It's like it's just something about it just gets me excited. So I want to see that, and yeah, that's kind of all I want to see. I can sit here try to make you know crazy predictions about this, that, but it's like at the end of the day, I just want to see what Sony's up to. Sony, you've been silent for so long, and I'm such a fan of yours. I just want to see what you've been up to. How are you doing? Maybe you could do an announcement for PlayStation Plus. I don't know. Just basically to put it best, and this is gonna sound, a little fanboyish, but whatever they show us, I'm going to be happy with because I'm a person who tries to stay fairly positive when it comes to PlayStation because I know a lot of people sit there and expect like everything to get shown at once. That's not how it works. Sony has to pace this stuff out. Because guess what? There might be a showcase fit next year. And if you show your entire freaking catalog of what you're up to in one showing before, well, what are you going to show after? So until next time, guys, this is That PlayStation Gamer signing out. Hoping y'all have a good day. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that YouTube algorithm BS. Peace out, and have a good day. If I already said that again, well then, I need to start working on my outro more.